All right, coming towards the end here. Really, one of the key things, remember, everybody worries about, oh, what should I do? What should I do? Should I move this? I don't want to move it. Don't be afraid to move the stuff on your bike. Get a feel for it, right? Anytime you make a change, you should not go out and go just as fast as where you were. You should not go to the brake marker where you used to go. You know, you're used to going. Go out and ride up to your new settings. Go out and roll around and gradually get up to speed. If you go out on your bike and make a change and you crash your bike, it's because you crashed your bike. Your bike didn't crash because you added 2 clicks of rebound. You know, that's not the reason, right? So don't be afraid to change the settings, and don't blame it if you fall down. It's, you know, it's not going to be the reason, okay? It's the rider's job to go out and ride the bike as fast as it'll go, feel for the edge of traction, and not cross it, right? You're supposed to find that edge, and you're supposed to work up it so smoothly that if you happen to cross it, you're so very close within the line that you can quickly come right back to it without falling down. So don't be foolish. Don't make changes and go out there and go right up to your same lap time. You know, work up to it for 2 or 3 laps. Feel the bike out. Feel the changes. And you'll ask what's acceptable changes on your fork and shock. Moving your forks up and down. Beginner riders and amateur riders, they're not going to feel much less than a 5mm change. Okay. Move the forks up or down 5mm. You want to know something's happened, and I want you to know something's happened. If you can put it, you know, to where your starting point was, and you lower your front 5mm, and you say, well, that was too much, and you put it back here and you say it still doesn't turn enough, maybe you are good enough to tell what 3mm is, then try 3. It's just a handful of bolts. It takes a few minutes, right? No big deal. On shocks, 2 turns at the ride height adjuster. That's a noticeable change. Again, don't be afraid to split it. If you want to creep up to turns, you know, one turn, you want to creep at changes, but you know, for the most part, you'll feel this. Again, if you have somebody helping you and you've got your bike in the ballpark, you know, 1 turn is probably a good change. But if you're starting from scratch at a stock swing arm angle, crank it up a little bit at a time so you can feel the change, right? So don't be afraid to make the changes. You're not going to go out and crash. I'm quite confident, particularly if you just apply some simple common sense to, riding after you make changes. Keep a little notebook with you. It doesn't need to be simple. In fact, somebody brought me in a really neat version of a simple chart here, and we'll pass these out after the class. One of our students here brought this to us. This is one of the better ones I've ever seen because it's very, very simple as far as taking notes. Most log sheets you'll see that pro riders use are extremely, or their mechanics use are extremely detailed. I think that's completely overkill for what you need to know. You just need to know, what was I thinking? What went through my head? What scared me? Very, very simple, better, yes or no. That's kind of the thing you need to know. This one's very simple. We'll pass this out, and I like it because it is simple. One of the key things about making changes is hard to be your own tuner, hard to be your own mechanic. When you make a change, you want it to be right. And half of what makes you go faster is just in your own head, particularly as you start riding. Now, you can fool yourself, and this is how people get totally out of the ballpark. They'll make changes and make changes. Nobody's going to walk up to their bike and go, I'm going to add some rebound in my fork so that I can screw it up and go slower the next time I'm out, right? Mentally, you're going, yeah, I'm changing this, and I'm going to kick my buddy's butt. This is going to be great. And so you're already going a second a lap faster just because you did that. You didn't do anything, right? You're just, So what, if you did go the right direction, that's great. But the simple way to verify is for the last session of the day at your track day, kick your sheet out and put everything back the way it was before you got there. Everything, whatever you moved, put it all back, and go out and run a lap and see if you don't run faster, or run the same lap time, or go slower. This will be your gauge as to, did I make progress with my chassis during the course of this day? Because if you put it all back and go faster, you're going to learn, well, hey, you know what, the baseline was fast, and I just got faster because I was riding today. So it really is easy to fool yourself because nobody wants to make bad changes. Don't be afraid to make changes. Keep notes of what you change. Put it back and verify you've done the right thing. And again, try and find a relationship with a business or a suspension tuner or a mechanic from a top team in the pits that you can go and find and get advice from, and certainly to bounce your ideas off of and explain your feelings, because it's hard to beat experience, and you'll get it. There's plenty of people in the paddock, as you've all, I'm sure, experienced. Road racing is great sport, great people, great community, and I think everybody's always willing to help. So That's our class for the day. I appreciate y'all coming. I'm glad to see so many people come and invest time in themselves to learn to make their bike go faster. If you have any questions about the stuff you learned here today, and because this is a lot of information, no doubt, you can feel free to contact me anytime. I'm Max at Traxxion.com. And we have a ton of information on our website, technical information, www.traxxion.com. And we kind of have a cool new feature there too, is called Virtual Max. It's a sort of a caricature of me. If anybody's ever seen it, it's in its infancy, but someday it'll be a movie style thing. But it's an informational thing that you can fill in your bike, and it'll give you model-specific information about what we found that's wrong with it, give you suggested cures as far as upgrades, and then same thing with the forks and shocks, and it'll give you a little information there. So anytime you need to contact us, give us a ring or shoot us an email, and we'll do whatever we can to help you out. Thanks a lot for being here.
Keep everyone seated.